they cover earth and space science, physical science, life science. So under those three standards, or under the three categories, earth and space science has two standards. So the first one is to obtain, evaluate, and communicate information about the physical attributes of rocks and soils. So under that one, the students need to learn how to ask questions, analyze data, classify rocks by their physical attribute using simple tests. They also need to learn how to plan and carry out investigations to describe the properties of soil and soil types. They should also learn how to make an observation of the local environment to construct an explanation of how water and or wind have made changes to soil and or rocks over time. The second standard under that category is to obtain, evaluate, and communicate information on how fossils provide evidence of past organisms. So they need to know how to construct an argument from observations of fossils to communicate how they serve as evidence of past organisms and the environments in which they lived, and how to develop a model to describe the sequence and conditions required for an organism to be fossilized or to become fossilized. Under physical science, there's only one standard, so it says obtain, evaluate, and communicate information about the way heat energy is transferred and measured. So under that standard, they need to learn how to ask questions to identify different sources of heat energy. They should also learn how to plan and carry out an investigation to gather their data. Using thermometers to produce tables and charts that will illustrate the effect of sunlight on various objects. They should also learn how to use tools and everyday materials to design and construct a device or structure that will increase or decrease the warming effect of sunlight on various materials. Under life science, there are two standards. So the first one is obtain, evaluate, and communicate information about the similarities and differences between plants, animals, and habitats found within geographic regions. So they should learn to ask questions to differentiate between plants, animals, and habitats found within Georgia's geographic regions. They also need to learn to construct an explanation of how external features and adaptations of animals allow them to survive in their habitat. They also need to learn to use evidence to construct their explanation of why some organisms can thrive in one habitat and not in another. And then the last standard, it says obtain, evaluate, and communicate information about the effects of pollution on humans and the environment. So they need to learn to ask questions to collect information and create records of sources and effects of pollution on the plants and animals.